Hello, everyone. Welcome into Above My Pay Grade. My name is Eric. Thanks for tuning in. If you would do me a favor, hit that like button. It spreads this out to people who haven't seen this kind of stuff before. And hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Don't you want to keep seeing this beautiful mustache? My wife hates it. Let me know. I'd probably do a poll here. Should I shave it? I'm not going to. Okay? So, I want to talk today about something that's going to blow your mind. Right? It's a little bit of a truth bomb that some people maybe aren't ready to hear. Your government and your politicians don't care about you. No. Yes, they don't. Okay? Why? Let's just look at the facts. I'm not saying every politician hates their constituents and wants to see them suffer. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the machine of politics does not care about you. What does the machine do? If you want to get elected in the United States, how many people do you know? Very few. Who have come up from the muck and mire. They're poor, they've got nothing going for them, and they say, hey, I want to serve in Congress or I want to be president. What do they need in order to do that? They need a lot of donations from rich people. And so it's very rare that you're going to find somebody who doesn't have any connections, who can't pay any favors to people, who are going to get those donations. And you need those donations to serve in office. Now, once in office, why do you think these big corporations and rich people give donations? Because they're super nice. And they just want to see them elected? Wrong. They want favors. They want to curry favor with the politicians and get... Because nothing, absolutely nothing, makes you more profitable than a law that outlaws the competition. Competing is a lot harder than just having your buddy in Congress or who's president write laws that help your business. And this is bipartisan. Both Republican and Democrat Party do this. What I find amazing is that both groups of voters, they're arguing with each other, which is kind of their goal, right? To create division. And they think my buddy, my team is going to win. My team is going to help me and hurt them, and vice versa. Here's the truth, the cold hard truth. The government is there to help their buddies. I mean, technically that's not what they're there for, but that's what the data shows. They help the rich. Let's take a look at what happened during COVID. We all know the economic consequences that have happened. But did the rich get richer? Yeah, they did. Okay? The top 1% got way more rich. Why? Because of inflation. And when inflation's hotter than 2%, people start to notice it. And little did you know that inflation's been going on your entire life. Okay? And inflation helps the wealthy. Why? Because they buy things that are inflation hedges. A hedge meaning something that protects you from it. So a house goes up in value based off of inflation, typically. So do stocks. So do a bunch of different assets. Do poor people have the advantage of buying these assets? Sometimes you can, be economically mobile and go from the lower class to the upper middle class in your lifetime. But in the meantime, the rich have been buying up all those assets that are inflation hedges. So inflation helps rich people. Why does the government not want deflation? Ask that question. Deflation is when prices continually go down. Continually. Because things get cheaper to manufacture. And that is the essence of capitalism. To take a product, let's say I want to sell you widget A for X price, and I'm the only guy in town. Guess what? Capitalism does. Somebody comes along, sees they can offer it for a cheaper price, and that competition drives prices down. It also does that, by the way, internationally with tax policy. So rich people leave a tax-encumbered place that wants to tax them to death, and they go somewhere else where there's less taxes. And that's why people like Janet Yellen want to make there's this world tax where you can't escape. You can't go anywhere. But competition typically, almost always in capitalism, lowers the price. Now, why don't politicians want that? Well, what it does is also lowers tax receipts. No. Yes, it does. And, and that is why they want inflation. So the Fed's always trying to target this 2% inflation mark, which should tell you if inflation helps the rich, whose side are they on here? Okay, so let's take a look real quick. The St. Louis Fed came out with a report on the Paycheck Protection Act. That was an $800 billion. This was when Trump was president. $800 billion that went to businesses, and they were supposed to take this money and pay their employees while the business was shut down. Okay, and the St. Louis Fed found that 1 out of every $4 actually went to employees. The rest went to the top 20% as far as income bracket, to their business to pay off suppliers, etc. It didn't go to pay their employees. Not the point of the program. A government program that creates inflation help the wealthy. What do you know? Okay. And so when politicians come out and say, hey, we're here to help, we just want this government program, any government program that takes money and taxes it and redistributes it, in some way, if you dig hard enough, you'll find who it benefits. So if Jeff Bezos is super into it, I want to raise taxes, I want to raise the minimum wage, you better ask yourself why. And it's not to help people. It's not to help poor people. I can guarantee you that. So let's see how all this government help has helped the citizens over the last 50 years. I'm going to link an article in the description. It's from a website called The Visual Capitalist, great resource. But they kind of took a microcosm of the United States, and they put it in a neighborhood of 100 houses. And of those 100 houses, they said how many people are in poverty in the United States, how many people are in the upper class, those are people that make more than $200,000 a year, and basically how many people are in the middle class. Now, the middle class has shrunk significantly since 1970. It used to be 62% of Americans were in the middle class. Now it's 50%, and that number is shrinking. What is the problem with the middle class shrinking? Because if you think about it, middle class pay most of the taxes. They're the business owners. They're the economic engine of the United States. And in theory, the lower class, economically speaking, take more, or they consume more than they produce as far as government taxes go. They consume more of government programs and all that kind of stuff. So the middle class is paying majority of the taxes, and the upper class can find ways to, let's say, get richer through government spending. And just even if they're not getting the dollars directly in their pocket, they benefit 100% of the time from inflation because they own assets. Okay, so the bottom of this article talks about what the median income for the United States used to be and what it is today. In the 1970s, the median income was $59,000. That was considered middle class. Today, it's $90,000. That's considered middle class. And yet, the middle class has shrunk, and that $90,000. So, you would think that if they used to make 59 and now they make 90, they can buy that much more. But that doesn't mean their purchasing power went up to $90,000. Their purchasing power went down as comparative to their income going up. So the middle class today can afford less than the middle class could in the 1970s. Yes, we have innovation and all that kind of stuff. So our standard of living in general has gone up in the United States since the 1970s. But capitalism, like I said before, its natural inclination is to cause deflation, meaning things get cheaper. Houses get cheaper. TVs get cheaper. iPhones, everything you want to buy gets cheaper because of competition. Now, when the government sticks their little hairy toe over the line and says, we're here to help, we're going to tax people, we're going to give special favors to certain corporations, those corporations learn the rules and they play by them. and so they donate to certain candidates so they can curry favor with those candidates. Now, what is my answer? Economics is definitely complicated, and there's a lot of nuance to this discussion. But invariably, anytime you see the government come in and say, we want to help make something cheaper and more affordable, and I'll give you 2 examples. In 2008, the great financial crisis, what was that caused by? It was caused by the government coming in and incentivizing loans for borrowers who really don't qualify for them. And so you had people buying 2 and 3 houses. You've heard of no income, no job loans, ninja loans. And eventually, these people who bought the houses on an adjustable rate mortgage, meaning the payment changed over time, and as soon as that payment went up, these people couldn't afford it anymore. And that was because the government wanted to help them. The government wanted these people who could not afford a home, who didn't have the income stability to afford a home, to get a home. And economics be damned. Okay? And who did that hurt? Who did that hurt? Okay? It hurt a lot of banks who got bailed out by the government. And it really hurt the middle class, because these banks took all these risks, which they normally wouldn't do, and the government came in and bailed them out. It didn't bail you out, it bailed the banks out. Okay? And the same thing goes with college. Look at what happened when the government came in and said, we want to make college affordable, and everyone needs to go to college. Okay? So they made college affordable, which by the way, the government's the number one, that's one of their biggest revenue makers, is college loans, if you didn't know. And so they basically backed student loans, therefore making colleges go, we're a for-profit institution. How about we make our standards lower so we can accept more applicants? It doesn't even matter if they graduate, because guess what? You can't bankrupt on the loan. This is all from government help. So the answer is always less government. Always. Okay? Because when the government comes in, when it comes to economic issues, and says, we want to help, it always makes it more expensive every single time. Because capitalism and competition, what a consumer does, they go to the store and say, this one's cheaper, and it does the exact same thing, so I'm going to buy the cheaper option. That's what capitalism does. But the government destroys competition. They really do. So, as you see the middle class shrink, there's a time and a place where people will get fed up with this. Fed up like in Sri Lanka. If you don't think it can happen here, it for sure can. Because if people realize, if they get to a point where they are spending as much gas in gas to get to work as they get paid for work, so basically their whole check goes to getting to work and eating, they give up. They don't care, and they get real pissed. And when people have nothing to lose, watch out. Watch out. So as we banter back and forth politically, we're always bantering about whose team is better, but we need less of the team, the government. We need less of that. Not my team's better than yours, and I want my team to to come in and use government overreach to subjugate your team and vice versa. We need less of the government, absolutely less. And if you don't think it's corrupt, just look at where these people are getting their donations from and why those people donate to them. Okay? They don't do it out of the goodness of their heart. So it's not to help you, it's to help the corporation. Let me know what you guys think, how to build a coalition of people that actually think, hey, maybe the answer isn't the government. Maybe the answer's with me. Okay? And less government. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. See you guys in the next one. Peace.